everyone, and welcome back to Sewing with Chelsea. Today I have something super useful that we're going to make today. Now, it's summertime. It's hot. It's currently nighttime where I'm at, and it's still 90 degrees out. I have very, very long hair, which you'll see later in the video when I let my hair down, so we can test out what I'm about to show you how to make. We're going to be making a scrunchie. Now, you probably have a few of these lying around at home, hair ties of varying styles and sizes and thicknesses based on your hair type. You can use these, which are fine. I have one in right now. They do the job. But sometimes you want to add a little bit of flair to your hair. So you use a scrunchie. I'm going to show you how to make your own today using either a hair tie or some elastic. This is just standard 1/2 inch wide elastic. So today, besides those things that you're going to need is either your hair tie or elastic. You're going to also need a pair of fabric scissors, something to mark your fabric with. I still will always recommend something washable. This is not washable on fabric. I use this so you can see it much easier than anything else that I have lying around. You're going to need your thread. You're going to need a needle. And if you really do need one, depending on what you have, a thimble. Oh, and also a safety pin, because we're going to use that to thread our elastic through our hoop that we're about to make. I'm going to adjust our camera angle, and we'll be right back. And we're back at my table. So I've already pre-cut one of the fabric pieces that we're going to be using today. This is a satin-esque material out of a long bolt of fabric that I had. We're going to cut one out together, though, so I could show you it on the screen. Let me move that needle out of the way. And that. So once again, I'm using a satin-esque fabric for one of my scrunchies. I'm going to use this suede-like material that I have lying around from an old costume that we're going to use for the other scrunchie. Okay, so we're going to find a nice piece. This is the unfinished edge, the raw edge, that we're going to use to be our flat piece. My measuring tape thing. I found this the other day in one of my other videos. You probably saw that I could not find it, and I finally did, thankfully. So let's make a mark where I'm starting measuring. I said this is old fabric that I have lying around, so I'm just going to make a mark at my 1-inch spot. And we need it to be 22 inches by 3 1/2. So I'm going to move this down just a bit so you can see me at the 22-inch mark. Now this is where I wish I had a bigger desk, but I will work with what I got. Or I'd be doing this on the floor, but that's not the best angle. Okay, so make a mark at the 22-inch. And then from the 22-inch and the 1-inch, we're going to go... Ooh, you're still not on the screen with me. There we go. 3 1/2 inches from that spot. That's centimeters. I don't need centimeters. So from this spot, make sure it's as straight as you can do. 3 inches, or 3 1/2 inches really. And go back to the 1-inch mark. We're going to go from there to another 3 1/2. Okay. Why'd I put that down? We're going to lay our fabric as flat as we can so we can see all of our marks. And we're now just going to draw a line from our marks so we have an outline of what we're going to cut. Okay. Drawing a line. And draw a line at your 3-inch mark places. It's okay if these lines aren't exact. A scrunchie is as its name, is all scrunched up, so no one will see if your edges are not the straightest. Okay, we have what we're going to cut out. So just cut along your lines, cut off your raw edge if you're using something with a raw edge like I am, or you can use a t-shirt, a bandana, whatever fabric you have lying around will work. So I'll be back once I cut this out. And don't forget to do not cut where your fingers are. Just keep your fingers out of the way. Don't get any cuts. You don't want to get any blood on your nice fabric. Okay, and now I've cut out my piece here. One will be for the scrunchie with the elastic, and one will be for the scrunchie with the hair tie. I think the hair tie one I'm going to do with this fabric, and the elastic one I'm going to do with this fabric. I'm making up these choices as I go because I feel like it. This is my thing to do, and I will do it how I want. Now, anyway, let's start with the elastic one. So we're going to put this fabric and this hair tie to the side because we will use them in a little bit. I don't need my scissors right now, and I don't need this just yet. So what we're going to do is that this is the side we want, this really shiny side we want to be the outside piece. So you're going to fold that up, fold it in half so the inside piece is what you're seeing. Fold it. We're going to get our pins, and I put them in here in my little drawstring pouch that I made with you guys last week, or in another video. Pull those pins out. I'll leave the thread bobbins in there. And we're going to pin this together. I don't need too many pins. It'll hold nice in place. Match up your edges. I'm going to do one at the end. Ooh, my table wants to move. I would like to move too, table, but not just yet. And this edge. Ooh. And pinning one at each edge, just so the fabric doesn't move too much out of place. You can iron this if you really want. I am not, because once again, I want to make sure you could do this at home without having an iron. I made one of these already. I just don't want you guys to have to use too many steps using items you might not have lying around. I'm also going to use some straight pins, because I have those too. This was in a dollar store sewing kit. So if I can get them, so can you. Now if the pins will cooperate, that'd be very, very nice. Come on. This is where I wish I had longer nails sometimes. Alas, I do not, for mine to break very easily, because I am very active. Last pin we'll just put right here. Okay. Great, so now we have that nice pinned in place. We're going to look at our fabric and we're going to measure out a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So let me get back to this. Move back up here so you can see better. So we just need a 1/4 inch seam allowance so we're going to sew against that line that we're about to draw. Get this 1/4 inch dot here. You're just going to move down your fabric, get a couple dots down it. This will be where you connect the dots so you can sew down a easy line. I like having lines to sew against. It makes my life easier. I'm not second guessing myself. And I know exactly where everything is. So I'll be back once I finish dotting this out. Okay, so I've made dots at the 1/4 inch mark across the entire piece from our raw edge here. So now we're just gonna connect the dots. This will make your life super simple later. If you've pinned over where your dots are, that's okay. Just draw around your pins. As long as you can see where the line is, all that matters. Connecting the dots. Do you guys do connect the dot pictures anymore? I miss them. They were kind of fun trying to figure out what the image was going to be, especially those ones with a lot of numbers. I would sit there for like hours doing them and then color them in because, man, I thought it was fun. My line is not super straight, which, once again, is okay. Because this will be the inside, and once this is all scrunched up, no one will know that I did not draw a straight line on a piece of fabric using a bendable ruler thing. And if you could freehand your line, do that. Okay, so now we have the line here. And we're going to get our needle and thread. I pre-threaded mine off camera as to make this easy. I like, you'll hear me say that a lot. I love when things are as easy as possible. I do not like taking many hard steps because it's just not necessary if it doesn't have to be. So we're going to grab one end and we're just going to stick our needle through. And you could do a running stitch for this, but I'm going to do a back stitch. Because it's going to make sure it stays. No, I'm going to do a running stitch because it's a fast stitch. And this is going to hold, I think, no matter what. So I'm going to push it through and pull. And you're just going to sew this entire line. Now, a running stitch, if you haven't seen me explain that in a different video, is where you push your pin through part of the fabric, not all the way, down. Use the needle to push the fabric up, and push the needle through the fabric where you want it to go out. So it's almost kind of dented through it like that. And then you're going to pull the needle through. Or at least the thread through. Flatten out your fabric, and now you've sewn that together. So we're going to do that the entire way, and we'll be back once that's done. Okay, I have sewn it all up against the line here, you see. The other side does not have the line, but is where I sewed up against. So what we're going to do now is pick an end that we're just going to string this through. So take your safety pin, pin it through just a corner of whatever end, and you're going to pull the loop and push the safety pin into it with it. And we're going to use that to string it through. You can use a tube turner if you have one of those. The safety pin is the easiest thing I have. You're just going to push safety pin and pull the fabric as you push it through. This is a little tricky due to the nature of the tube and not wanting to turn itself inside out. You can bunch the fabric up a lot on this if you want to make this maybe easier. I'm just going to go little by little, push it through. Any scratching you hear is my cat Nico, who would like to be a part of this video, but he does not have opposable thumbs, therefore he cannot sew. Maybe the next thing I'll make... No. You do not have thumbs, cat. You cannot sew. Just push, pull. Push the fabric around the safety pin till it bunches up between your fingers and pull it with your other fingers. Push, pull. Push and pull. Push and pull. We're almost at the end. Push and pull. Push and pull. are you knocking over now? Now we have our safety pin out. Grab that piece and fully pull your fabric through. Look at that, you sewed a tube. Undo your safety pin, you don't need it on there anymore. Look, we have a nice little tube. You can iron this if you want it to stay flat. I don't need it to. What we're now going to do is, this is going to be the one we do with the elastic. So we're going to get our elastic and we're going to measure out 9 inches of it. So you don't want to stretch your elastic when you measure it. You want to just lay it flat with whatever you're measuring this with. Lay it flat with it. 9 inches is right here. Mark that. Make it shorter if you want a tighter hair tie. So you would make this shorter too. Cut along that line. And now we're going to take this away. Now we're going to put our safety pin on the elastic. We're going to use, ooh, this elastic wants to not cooperate. There we go. Because we're going to use this safety pin again to feed it through the tube here. So pick any side and just feed your elastic through the tube using the same method we just did to tie it and to turn the tube around. You don't want this to end up on the outside, so a quick little thing you can do if you want to ensure that the other end doesn't go through the tube, is just pin it to this edge here, so you know it won't end up through it. So we want this to bunch up. It's a scrunchie. I'll be back once I get this all the way through. Okay, I've officially pulled it all the way through. So I'm going to hold on to this edge, get my other edge from the other side. This is why we pinned it in place, because we didn't want this end up going, or us losing this edge. So you can pull the fabric as needed, undo the safety pin, and make sure you get your elastic. There we go. So you're going to do, scrunch the fabric up, keep your edges, lost it for a sec. It's okay, that's why I left the safety pin on here. There we go. Okay, I don't need this safety pin anymore. All you're going to do is now tie these in a knot. This is, let's see, okay, it turned this way. So just pull it, tie it in a quick little knot. I'm going to show you that again, actually, on camera. You could sew this if you'd like. I'm going to tie it in a knot so I don't have to sew again, because it works just as fine. Take the two edges, pull them, twist around your fingers, and push it through here, and pull. Tighten the knot by pulling against it. And now you have your little knot. What you're going to do is you're going to put the knot on the inside of the scrunchie a bit. You want to hide that. So we're going to take this edge here and fold it in just a little bit. So now that that raw edge is on the inside. Best you can. And then we're going to stuff the other raw edge into that so it hides it. Then we're just going to grab our needle and thread, tie a knot at the end again, and we're going to sew. We're going to sew this closed. I'm going to sew straight across it through the elastic. You could sew just right around it. I'm gonna do another running stitch through this because I want it to stay closed, and we'll be back. Okay, I sewed that through, and I did sew through the elastic. So now all we're gonna do is just move the fabric around, scrunch it up, and look, we have a perfectly good scrunchie. You can make the elastic longer if you want a bigger scrunchie, but I like this one just as is. So now we're going to make one more using our hair tie and our other fabric. Let's move some stuff out of the way. So this one's going to be a little different since we don't have a straight elastic that we're going to be going through. So instead of folding this over and sewing this like we did last time, we're actually going to sew it as it's around the hair tie. It's going to get a little tricky seeing as we can't lay it flat. So let me thread my needle and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I've rethreaded my needle. So once again, we want to pick what our fabric's going to be the outside. I want my outside fabric to be this really, really soft suede part. So I'm going to grab my fabric, hold it by the edge. What you can do also is make another 1/4 inch seam allowance like we did before. I'm going to freehand this one. So wrap part of your fabric around the hair tie. Meet the corners. Grab your needle. And, ooh, I almost did the wrong thing. We want it to be this side that I'm sewing through. There we go. Soft side in for now. So now we're just going to take our needle and thread, and we're going to sew through. I'll be back in a bit after I've sewn a bit of this, and I'll show you what I was doing. Okay, I've sewn a bit of this so you can see that it is going through the hair tie. I'm doing a different type of stitch. I'm just going over the two edges around. So my thread is coming up this way. So instead of like some of our other stitches where I go down the same part the thread is coming out of, I'm going around the thread, or around the edges and pushing back up through. So that way, I got my thread there and wrapping it around. Let's do that at a different angle so I can show you better. So thread's coming out this side, putting the needle through the opposite side, and then pulling. Now as we go, it's going to start bunching up over here. That's fine. You want it to bunch up because this is going to be a scrunchie. It's going to get a little difficult. Just push on through. Keep sewing your edges together. And whatever stitch you like. I'm doing this because I thought it would be fun. And it's a little easier to do with the way that we're doing this scrunchie with a hair tie. Whoop! Might get little bits of thread stuck in it from other pieces, which is why you should always work on a clean area. This is why I need a bigger work desk. But it's starting to curve. I'm going to bunch it up as I go to make this easier. Remember, depending on the size of the hair tie you're doing this on, you may need more fabric or less. I will meet you back here when I have sewed the entirety of this fabric. See you soon. Okay, I've now sewn the entirety of it all the way around. I have my two pieces here. So what we're going to do is now turn this inside out. I am going to use the safety pin method again, because it works so well for me. So we're just going to push the safety pin in, and we're just going to turn this around. Actually, no, we're not going to do that method. We're going to do a different method. We're going to do this one where we just flip it out and use our thumbs. Because if you don't have a safety pin, you could still do this. You're just going to push the fabric back into itself. So here's our soft side, here's our darker side, our smooth side, lighter side and darker side, smooth and soft. There's differences. So you're just going to push it through and pull the fabric out the other end. Okay, and pull the fabric out. This is just a different method that you can use. Push the fabric in. Almost done. And just pull it through this side. Hello, Nico. I know. You want more affection. I will give it to you in just a few minutes when I'm done talking to these lovely, lovely people watching this video. Keep turning it. No, Nico. Baby, come on down. You're a good boy. Yes, you are. Okay. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, we're pulling this through this way. Pushing it in, pulling it out. The safety pin method could work. I've done it on a different project for the same idea here. But I wanted to show you one where you didn't need the safety pin. Because you can sometimes do many things with not all the right tools. Almost there. Go, come on. I'll come back right in a moment after I'm done turning this through. Okay, that took me another minute to do. We've turned it completely through. See our hair tie in the middle of our tube here. So like on our other hair tie, we're going to fold part of it back inside as if we were turning this back the way we originally had it. Straighten that out so you have that little folded piece. Nice finished edge and an unfinished edge. And now you're going to tuck the unfinished edge into the finished edge piece. Tuck it right in there. And then you're just going to sew this through, just like we did our other one. And we'll be back once I've done that. Alright, that's sewed completely through. Now we have 2 scrunchies. I'm going to fix the camera angle and we're going to test them out. Alright, I took my hair down so we can test out our scrunchies. Here's scrunchie number 1, the one we did with the elastic. Do one on one side and one on the other. Tie it around. Tighten that. I'll do one on this side. Grab my hair. This. Tie it around again. And this one I could maybe do. Yep, I can work 3 onto this one. Pull the hair, tighten it up. And I've got 2 scrunchies that work just perfectly fine. Pull it out. Washed, handmade, and pretty. And if you're using this with fabric that you have yourself, you can make clothes that match these, or a purse or any other accessories, and have your own set of things. Now, I hope you enjoyed making this with me today, and I'll see you guys in the next sewing with Chelsea. Bye!